My name is Dini Katz, and I'm 81 years old. 81 and 3/4, 81 and 5/8, 7/12, something like that. When I first started to go to Israel, I believe it was in the early 50s. On one trip, we went up to Masada. The Israeli Air Force went by, part of the Israeli Air Force, and as we looked up, they tipped their wings to us on top of Masada. Well, the plane comes along, and then it's flying along in formation, and then they tip their wings, and then they come back, and then they tip them again, and then they come back, and then they tip it the other way. And then they thought maybe we didn't see them, so they came back and did it again. It was very exciting. At that time, the Arabs used the Church of Nativity for a barn, goats and camels and you name it. And there was going to be, it was Christmas Eve, and there were going to be 25,000 people in the marketplace. So I called the Minister of Tourism, and I said, you know, this place is a mess, an absolute, utter disgrace. And he says to me, well, what do you want to do about it, lady? And I said, it needs cleaned up. Why don't you send some soldiers over, and I'll give you a list of things, rags and cleaning materials, and we'll clean it up. 20 minutes later, couldn't have taken an hour altogether. These trucks arrived with these gorgeous guys, and they went to work. When we left, the chandeliers were shiny, the pews were clean, had been washed down with saddle soap and what have you, and each of the soldiers kissed me goodbye, which was worth the whole trip. It was just something that I felt was important to our country, to the country. I didn't want the world to think that the Israelis would disrespect the church that had such meaning. Things are different today. Women are working more. There's not the stay-at-home moms as there used to be. And volunteerism is almost a thing of the past. But I never worked for pay. I ran shops for ORT. It's an organization for rehabilitation through training, is what ORT is all about. And it does one remarkable job. I think volunteering is something that everybody should do to an extent. You're part of the community. You have to support your community. You don't sacrifice your family, but you do what's necessary for the community particularly.